Thank you for having me.
Hey, welcome. Hi, and welcome back to the Rock Fantasy YouTube channel. This is what we're back doing some of our interview series with bands from around the world and, of course, from the United States. Today, we are here to chat with. Well, I have one member. I guess I had members of Kilmara written down, but I have one member
Yeah.
of Kilmara here. Who are who have just released their latest album called Journey to the Sun. It's out now on RPM Roar Records. It came out in Europe January 31st of 2025, and North America on the exact same date, January 31st, 2025. And welcome to the show. Who are we chatting with today? We're gonna, I want to you get your word out to around people that may not know who the band is or what the band's about. So welcome, Danny.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Steve. Yeah, as you mentioned, I'm Danny. I'm the lead vocalist from Kilmara, and supposed to join me today was he was supposed to be here also, Carles, the one of the guitar players, the
Mm,
producer of the album, but he just texted me a few minutes ago saying he wasn't able to make it. He was still
well,
busy at work.
okay.
So I'm gonna do it on my own, but we'll have fun anyways, and we'll talk and chat
Yeah, yeah.
about
I guess that's
anything.
why I had members in my monologue coming in. I thought there were two
Yeah,
of you coming. But where are you joining us from this morning?
I'm joining you from Barcelona in Spain. Well, actually, a bit south from Barcelona.
Hmm.
It's about 80 kilometers. I'm not sure about that distance in miles. It's around an
Okay.
hour
Yeah,
south
yeah.
of Barcelona. So
Excellent. Excellent.
we consider ourselves a band from Barcelona, from Spain, from Europe. So,
I guess to kick this off, let's for those I kind of just discovered your band as I spoke with you before we started taping, and I guess for we're trying to get the word out about the band. Let's hear a little bit of the history of the band. Obviously, this is not a brand new project, but maybe you can fill our viewers in this morning or on this episode about the history of the band and all that good stuff.
okay, so the band was formed around 2003, I believe, 2002, 2003. So they have a long history behind them. And initially, they had a German singer. And but although he's a German guy, in the beginning they used to sing in Spanish, so they had a quite a bit of a following here in Spain.
Mm-hmm.
But then they wanted to try and reach European, countries like Germany, France. So they decided to change the language of their music to English,
Okay.
and they recorded three albums with the previous singer, Christian Wolf, and each album was progressively better received than the one before. But suddenly in 2013, he decided to quit the band. The Christian,
Okay.
he was tired of the
Mm-hmm.
a band is hard work. You have to
Sure.
keep up with your rehearsal space. You have to keep up with gigs, rehearsals. You
Yeah.
have to invest, to record. And when you're not a big name in the business, you have to pay for everything on your own. So it's quite a task, and not everybody's willing to do it. And sometimes people grow tired of it.
Of
So
course.
he left the band, and that's when I came into action. I used to be a singer before I joined the band. I was in other bands from Spain, from Barcelona,
Mm-hmm.
but I found out that they were doing auditions, and this is around 2013, as I mentioned before
Yeah.
recording. So they got me in the band, and after I joined, the first gigs were mainly playing the previous repertoire, the all the set list of the earlier albums.
Sure.
But then we started working on new material until we finally were able to record and release our previous album, Across the Realm of Time, also with RPM Roar. Well, it was just called Roar, Rock of Angels Records from Greece,
Okay.
before they made the fusion with Raining Phoenix.
Okay.
So that was in 2017, that album. 2000, yeah, 17, 18. So we
Mm-hmm.
had the whole cycle for that album. We did some European touring. mainly in Spain, also Portugal, France. We were able to play some festivals, not as many as we would have hoped for, but being a smaller band, it's sometimes difficult to get to the top tier festivals.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, then in between all of that, after the Across the Realm of Time cycle, the pandemic happened, hit the world,
Yeah.
paralyzed everything. We were all suddenly in no man's land. We had to stay in our homes, and
Yeah.
that was when we actually decided to start working on material for the next album, which now is Journey to the Sun.
Okay.
So, in between that, after the pandemic, we also had some lineup changes. The drummer left. We had also a change in the guitar player. So we brought in Carles Salse. He's
Mm.
the lead guitar player nowadays, and he's also the producer of the album
Okay.
because initially we were supposed to go to record the album with Mr. Roland Grappo from ex Halloween Masterplan guitarist. I don't
Mm.
know if you know him.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a
Yep.
and he's a big name in here in Europe. He's a
Halloween,
uh,
man.
yeah, and Masterplan also. It's a band
Yep.
we really
Sure.
love. So we went to record with him this Journey to the Sun album, but it was still like, the tail end of the pandemic. So we had to have our test done. We needed
Mm.
to have our,
Oh,
like, all our vaccine paperwork,
all the
to
drags of life.
travel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and long story short, we ended up not being able to record the whole thing over there in Slovakia.
Hmm.
So we brought a lot of homework here to Spain, but luckily our guitar player, Carles, the new guy, he has an amazing studio here near Barcelona. So we were able to
Hmm.
finish the recording. We had to re-record many of the parts. So in the end, it took us a couple of more years than we would have liked to
Yep.
release Journey to the Sun, but it's finally here, and now we're really happy about it, and we're really proud and
Hmm.
spreading the word, to become a little bit more known to the outside
Excellent.
world.
Cool. Cool. Uh, yeah. What's the current lineup of the current full lineup in the band? Correct right now.
So now on the drums, we have Eric Martinez, Eric the Killer. He's on drums. He's also one of the latest incorporations to Kilmara. And we on lead guitar, and the main guy, he's like the boss. He's the one that's been there from day one is John Portillo.
Okay.
He's on the guitar. He's also writing lots of the music. And as I said, he's the main soul, in Kilmara. He's the guy that keeps pulling the train, he's the captain of the ship,
Yes.
you
Yes.
can call him. And then on bass we have Didac Pla, and he's also the artwork artist. He did the cover for this album, for the previous one also.
Okay.
He's
Okay.
the second member that's been the longest after John. Then there's Carles Salse, the other guitar player. He's
Hmm.
been joining us for Journey to the Sun, and I'm Danny Ponce, the singer.
Excellent. Excellent. I this morning when I got up, I put on YouTube and I watched a couple of the videos. I think you've got, I can't be mistaken, but I think you've shot 3 videos for the new album, or is there
Right, that's correct.
three?
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
so I
two
did.
video clips and one lyric video, the ones that they do nowadays with the lyrics. It's
Is
not
that the
actually
one
us
with the like
with the red car.
with the like Ferrari or the red
Yeah,
car? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, for sure. I watched that, and then I saw the one which was kind of a conceptual video for the title track, "Journey to the Sun,"
yeah.
where you guys are shooting in like a classic 1980s looking video game arcade.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct.
Yeah. So what gave you that? What were the ideas behind how to, let's hear a little bit about how that video went and what kind of a message are you putting across? It's like when I watched it, I got like one of you went to go play the video game. Was that you playing the video game and you got
No, that's one of the actors
oh, one of the
that
actors. Okay. So you
yeah,
got sucked into the game
yeah,
itself.
he gets sucked in, and
Hmm.
it's kind of inspired from all of us in the band were kids of the 80s. We grew up in
Hmm.
the 80s. We had
Yep.
the best time of our lives, enjoying all these amazing movies, video games,
Mm-hmm.
you know, uh, having your quarters, and earning a little bit of quarters to go to the arcade
Yeah,
and
yeah.
spend it there with your friends. You didn't have a video game at home in those days. You had to
Not
go to
much,
the
no.
arcades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
So that was our meeting point when we were kids. And actually, our music, we play more like power metal,
sure.
but it's very melodic and it has tinges of 80s hard rock because we all
Mm-hmm.
love that genre as well.
A little,
Uh,
like AOR, 80s hard
yeah,
rock.
yeah,
I feel that not too. Yep.
yeah. For me, especially as a vocalist, like I love all the great vocalists of the 80s, Jack Russell, the guys from Firehouse, Danger
Okay.
Danger, Ted Poley. I love all those amazing singers, Warrant,
Okay.
Janny Lane,
So you're very
Bon Jovi,
influenced.
even
You're
Europe.
very, yeah. So I was going to ask that question. So you took care of that
Yeah.
already. You're very influenced by the more commercial, more of the what they call the hair metal a little bit
Yeah,
more.
yeah, of course. Even in Barcelona, before I joined Kilmara, like
Mm-hmm.
in the early 2000s, I used to have a band, that we used to play strictly melodic hard rock,
Mm-hmm.
We dressed like the Motley Crue, so
So you did
I
like a
that's I have that in my blood.
okay, great. So that was like a cover band or originals?
No, no, we did original songs,
Okay.
but
Mm-hmm.
we never actually made it really big, but we had
Sure.
our little following in Barcelona, but
Cool.
to to resume the story, I mean, that's the style of vocal that I
Mm-hmm.
always had in me,
Yep.
although I do love genuinely heavy metal as well because I'm
Sure.
really big into Maiden, Manowar, Virgin Steel,
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Sabotage. I also
Yeah.
love the classic metal bands.
Mm-hmm. You
But as
see.
a vocalist, what comes out from me naturally is more of a melodic
Mm-hmm.
style. So,
You see
well, in
that.
the end, we
Yeah.
believe that in Kilmara that works, as well, because we're very proud of this kind of a mix that we're
Mm-hmm.
working on, that's coming out from us. So as I was mentioning, the 80s vibe, although it wasn't like completely 80s music,
Yep.
we had this vibe, with the songs, with the structures, with the keyboards, that
Yep.
were coming up while we were doing the songs.
Mm-hmm.
So although the song Journey to the Sun is not specifically about the story you see in the video clip, it's more like a journey of life. But
Mm-hmm.
anyway, the guitar players, the bass players, they came up with this story, about a couple going to
Mm-hmm.
the arcade. And in the same time, we were also developing the ideas for our cover art. So
Yep.
we finally found this concept, about the arcade, and
Mm-hmm.
it all fit together into place. And we thought it would be really cool, and we followed that path.
Mm.
And in the end, I think it works. It works good. Although the music is not genuinely 80s,
Yep.
the whole vibe, the aesthetic, of the
Mm-hmm.
video, the album art, even our when we go on stage, I like to wear my scarf, my necklaces. I feel, we like to show the image of
Yep.
classic rock stars, not just go out with your t-shirt and jeans,
Yep.
we
Yep.
like to take care of also of our image.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole concept, I think, works for us.
Excellent. Yeah, it was really cool. That video was, and of course, my story, which you wouldn't know about, is
Mhm.
I've had a store in Middletown, New York, which is about an hour north of New York City for 39 years, and
Wow.
it incorporates it's a record shop, it's a smoke shop. You can buy pipes, you can buy, of course, then it's all the rock and roll stuff, the metals. You can buy, the concert shirts, you can buy
Awesome.
patches, and then we have a big arcade that's surrounded by
Wow.
blacklight posters. So if you ever come, you'll probably dig it. But
So
I have some video games, but mostly pinball machines.
okay, but you
Mm-hmm.
have the whole Kiss, Pinball Machines, Metallica, all the bands ones, right?
Oh yeah, most all of them we do. We have both of the
Wow.
Kiss, the classic, the newer one. We have
Okay.
the Metallica, the Guns N' Roses, Jersey Jack, the
AC/DC.
AC/DC. We have yeah, I'm trying to think of them all.
Guns
But
N'
anyhow,
Roses, maybe?
yeah, the Guns N' Roses. I have the newer one from Jersey Jack. There was an older
Okay.
one from the '90s too. We have that, and we have the Godzilla. We have the Led Zeppelin.
Wow.
Yeah, so yeah.
I'd love to go there, Steve. Really, honestly,
Well, if you ever come to New
I'm an
York,
avid. Look at my.
I see you have
It's all.
one or two CDs.
Look, look, look
Yeah,
at that. It's all originals
you don't,
everywhere.
and you don't just listen to Spotify
Look, I don't even have Spotify in
then.
my
Okay.
phone. Look at that.
Yeah, you're old school, man.
Yeah, it's all CDs though, because when I was growing up, my older brother, he used to handle vinyl, but
Yeah.
for me it was I'm from 83, so when I
Yep.
started buying records maybe in 1991 or 92,
Mm-hmm.
I was all about the CD. So I started my collection as a kid and
Mm-hmm.
haven't stopped since, you know? So
So we
I'd love
met.
to go to your shop. I'd love to go there,
Yeah.
Steve.
Well, do you? I mean, I guess that's one of my questions. What are your touring plans? Do you have any to promote this album?
Well, we're honestly working on it. You know,
Okay.
nowadays, since the record business is so difficult because
Yes.
as you know, records are barely sold, you know, only
Mm-hmm.
the people that really honestly want to support the bands or want to have the physical copy,
Yes.
they buy the record, but it's not like 20 or 30 years ago when,
Yep.
yeah, Van Halen 2 was that, right?
Yeah, we just did
Awesome.
an episode talking about our favorite Van Halen Roth era stuff. So I've got them all
So,
sitting right out tonight. This
so
morning.
one
Just
and two,
got one
yeah,
and two. I got one and two, and my third favorite was Women and
fair
Children.
warning. Ah,
I did Women and
okay.
Children, but I do have Fair Warning here. Yeah, but yeah,
Uh,
yeah. What's your
I
favorite
love
Van
fair
Halen?
warning.
What's
Fair
your
warning.
Fair
I
Warning's your
love.
favorite?
Yeah.
Roth? Yeah,
Well, I'd have to go with the first one. You know, I
yeah,
have a
me
special
too.
love
Yeah,
for the first one because they were on fire on that first record. You know, and that
sure
changed
was.
the world. That
Yes,
record.
we were talking about. We should have had you on last night talking about it.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Although I must confess, on obviously I prefer the Roth era, but Sammy also gets my respect. You know, he
Good.
had really big shoes to fill, and I think
Hmm.
he did quite amazing albums also.
What's the metal scene like in Spain? Is there a big metal congregation when the shows come
Yeah,
around? Do you get a lot of the tours? Do you have festivals in the country too?
yeah. Actually, we do. You know, each summer there's at least 4 or 5 big festivals in Spain, you know, that
Hmm.
bring all the giant bands, you know, the
Yep.
Kisses, the Iron Maidens, the Judas Priests.
Hmm.
And every summer we get the chance to see them. Tours are not coming that often though, you
Oh,
know,
okay.
it's mainly more focused on the summer festivals, but we do get big tours as well.
So
But
you
maybe,
guys need to be on one of those festivals opening
yeah.
up, of course.
Well, as I was answering your previous
Yeah.
question, we're trying to work on it. You know,
Yep.
it's hard to nowadays to tour. You know, sometimes
Hmm.
they ask you to invest, you know, per gig,
Oh yeah.
and or to organize your own
Hmm.
transportation. You know,
Yep.
your hotels. So
That's
it's a
not
big
cheap.
expense. You know, it's not cheap, and
Yeah.
smaller bands like ourselves, we need to really calculate and make
Yeah.
sure that we don't get broke, you know, after a tour. So we're working on it anyways. And of course,
It's
going to the States.
such a big adventure to go like through
Yeah.
Europe or to come to the United States. I know
Yeah, yeah.
it's a big risk factor, and God forbid, you might do well in the big cities, but then when you're playing in the Midwest or something, you could be losing money.
Yeah, of course we'd love, like, for example, to be part of a big tour, you know,
Hmm.
if you open for two big bands that you know it's gonna go well,
Hmm.
then there shouldn't be any problems. But
Yeah.
we're working, you know, together with the label, with the guys
Yeah.
in the label. They're
Of
seeing
course.
that the album is doing quite well. You know,
Good.
it's receiving good reviews and people are listening to it worldwide. You know, even in Japan. This is our first album that's officially released in
Okay.
Japan.
That's great.
It has its own Japanese version release. So in we also there's rumors that we might jump over there, you know, to do a couple gigs. So
That'd be
hopefully,
crazy, huh?
yeah. So hopefully we can share good news in sometime soon, you know,
Yeah.
with our fans, our friends.
Well,
Let's see how it goes.
we spoke about the title track and the video, and the other videos you shot. The one was a was like a studio clip, right? What was
Yeah,
that? What was that song for? Strange
that was Chances.
Chances. Yes.
So
Yep.
that was our second video clip for this album.
Mm-hmm.
And that was shot in the studio from our guitar player, as I mentioned, where we had
Okay,
to
great. Yeah.
re-record most of the
Mm-hmm.
record.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was one of the days we were recording. We just invited a friend we have in common, that he works as a visual graphic designer, and
Mm-hmm.
he's really good with making, fun videos, like that you can watch like a bit of everything, not just the recording of the song, but all the hours we spent there. So it's a fun video. We're really proud of that one as well.
Cool, cool. Uh, what else do we have to chat about this morning? I was one of my questions was your influences, which we kind of covered already.
Mhm.
Let's say you got I sometimes we call this a desert island, but let's say you're going on a trip, you're going to be gone for a while. You're allowed to bring maybe like three CDs with you. What are the
Mm.
what are or maybe we can limit it down. Three bands. Which ones do you bring? Three bands,
Wow.
three CDs. I'm
You,
putting you on the spot.
you, Steve, that's really tough because I listen to so many styles, and
Okay.
bands, and depends on my mood, Maybe I can be on a on a classic hard rock vibe, and
Yeah.
just listen to old Whitesnake or whatever,
Hmm.
Deep Purple even, or maybe I could be in an
Nice.
80s mode.
Hmm.
So I don't know. Right now I'm really listening again a lot to Dio, I've
Okay.
never stopped listening to Dio, for those
Hmm.
first albums,
Oh
even
yeah.
Heaven and Hell, in his time
Sabbath.
with Black Sabbath.
Oh
Wow,
yeah.
those vocals, man,
Oh
that's
yeah.
amazing, and
Yep.
and in those days they didn't have like the technology to like do 10 takes, until he got the right word, it's that was real, so that's amazing.
There he
Ah,
is.
there's Ronnie.
That's the Super 7 reaction figure.
Wow.
Do you guys get those over in Europe? The
No, I think I've never seen that Dio
oh yeah,
figure.
that's a cool one,
You know,
right?
yeah, it's awesome. Our guitar player, he has the shredding guys figures, the ones that come
Yeah.
in the box.
They oh yeah, then they make
Oh, the
like
Hendrix.
that's a Hendrix, but that's from the same company. You might be
Wow.
able to find them in Europe. They're pretty popular here. We sell a bunch. They got
Wow.
the we talked to my toy. This is my toy room. We got Eddie.
Hmm.
Kind of
Awesome.
hard to see. I gotta get I'm using a
Yeah,
backup
he's with the
computer.
Killers, Eddie, right? With
Yeah,
the
I
axe.
got killers, and I got the number, the Beast Devil.
Uh-huh. The demon. Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, so answering your question, Steve, Dio would have to be one of the
You're
bands that I would take.
bringing Dio with you. You're bringing Deep
Yeah,
Purple, maybe
Dio. No, maybe no, not Deep Purple, but let's
something
see.
Coverdale.
Yeah, Whitesnake, I think.
Yep.
Because
Okay.
Whitesnake is a band, for example, that I love the 80s era, but I also love the 70s,
Hmm. We just
Uh,
lost John
because
Sykes recently,
yeah,
unfortunately. Yeah.
really sad loss. Sad
Hmm.
loss. Also, there was some news, that maybe he would be partaking in some project soon,
Yeah, it's a
or at
shame.
least that's what I heard. So it's a shame. Yeah.
Way too young.
Yeah, really young. I mean, Blue Murder also.
Yeah. Oh
It's a
yeah.
shame that he got booted from Whitesnake in the 80s, but
Yeah.
at least that 87 album, and even the uh how was it? Slide It In, the
Hmm.
American version with John
Yep.
Sykes.
Yep.
That was amazing also. Really, really great. Yeah, at least he's gonna be eternal, John Sykes.
Hmm.
All these great musicians,
I
Hendrix,
know.
Dio, they're gonna remain with us forever, so
Yeah, we're losing
through
so
their
many of
music.
our heroes as we get older.
Yeah.
And so we're talking about your band, of course. How do we find you? Like someone's watching the video right now. Of course, you've got a YouTube channel, you've got
Yes.
Instagram, you've got Facebook. I'll try to put those links in the notes on here. But how do we find you on the World Wide Web? I guess.
Yeah, just in Google, if you type Kilmara, Kilmara,
Mm-hmm.
Kilmara, You can find everything there. It's our Facebook. Normally we update it daily, you know.
Yeah.
Every day there's some, especially now that's we released the album just a couple of days ago and you know last Friday. So we're
Hmm.
very active nowadays. We're
Good.
posting every day news or reviews that we find, you know, from different
Yep.
countries. And of course, if we have any touring plans coming up, we're gonna post it there in our Instagram as well.
Hmm.
And also, obviously, in YouTube, you can listen to our videos, our CDs in
Yep.
Spotify, Deezer, Apple Music, wherever you listen to
Hmm.
your music. But of course, what would help us the most is if you enjoy the band, you can order our CD or our vinyl, which
Yeah,
it's also
vinyl.
released in vinyl for first time, one
Nice.
of our records. So we're really happy about the vinyl, and
Hmm.
also the vinyl. They took really good care of it. You know, it's in blue, limited edition with the insert and everything. It's really taken care of. So we're
Nice.
very proud. We're very happy with the guys in the label. They
Awesome.
really took care of it. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I guess that's probably going to wrap up our time for this interview this morning. I think we had about 30 minutes and we used almost all of it up. Do you have another interview coming up in a minute?
No, not today, Steven.
Oh,
I
okay.
did one yesterday with John from Talking the Fast Lane, Rocking the Fast Lane. Sorry.
Okay. Yep, yep. So,
Mm. So
hopefully we'll
yeah,
keep in touch and maybe we can have you back on the channel chatting about another album coming out or just music in general in
yeah.
the future.
Hopefully, Steven. Hopefully. And what
And
was the name of your store in New York, Steve?
we're Rock Fantasy. You can find me at
Okay.
www.rockfantasy.com. You can
Okay.
also find me on Instagram at Rock Fantasy Record Shop. And of course, the YouTube channel is Rock Fantasy. If you type in Rock Fantasy Files in the search in YouTube, you'll find me.
Okay.
We
So
started this during in the
is this
pandemic.
in New York City or is it in the
I
outside?
am in the suburbs of New York City.
Okay.
Both of my neighbors, I live in a development here, both work
Okay.
in the transit authority, in the buses and
Okay.
trains and stuff. So a lot of people, this is still like it's about a 60-mile from Manhattan proper. I go to a
Okay.
lot
Okay.
of shows. A lot of the shows we go to are in Manhattan. So
Okay.
if we want to go to a concert, we got to drive about an hour because we have all the theaters and the clubs, and that's where the good, has a good
Yeah.
metal scene in New York.
The scene in New York is big,
Brooklyn,
right?
yeah, the Brooklyn
Yeah.
Monarch, the Gramercy Theater, Irving Plaza. Right now, I was just looking at my Live Nation and my itinerary because I haven't. It's been that season where it was January, it was the holidays. There weren't many shows.
Hmm.
Now,
Now it's
bombardment of
beginning.
everyone is coming. Yeah, like next
Hmm.
week is Decapitated and
Wow.
Tier coming to town, and then Swallow the Sun.
Awesome.
I listened to a lot of the melodic European stuff too. So.
Okay. But you like also the heavier things like
Oh
Decapitated and all
yeah,
that?
yeah. I
Me
listened
too.
to
Me
some
too.
death
Yeah.
metal. Yep, Decapitated's coming. Septic Flesh
Awesome.
from Greece.
Yeah. I like
Uh,
them also.
Septic Flesh are coming. I don't know. Mayhem just announced a tour. I can't
Wow.
afford. I can't have the time to go see everyone, but Delane is coming from the Netherlands, so I
Uh-huh.
like some of the symphonic stuff too.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Like
Delane with the new singer sounds awesome as well. Yeah.
Epica
Great.
is coming. I don't know if
So you don't
Epica's a
miss a
new
show.
album. The new Ginger is coming out this week
Yeah.
when they palm, and I really become a fan of them recently.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
They're
don't know how
really
to.
awesome.
Yeah, very powerful she is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she had and her vocals, you know,
Tatiana. Yeah,
she can do anything with her chords.
yes, I
Amazing.
saw them
Yeah,
live last year, and it was like wow.
yeah, she's a beast on
But
stage.
I listened to a little bit of everything like you. We were talking Van Halen, we were
Awesome.
talking death metal, and
Yeah, yeah.
so it
I
was
also
really
love my death metal. Yeah, great. So Steve, thank you
really
so
cool to
much, and
touch base with you today. Yeah, it's good to sit down and chat with people
yeah,
that in
you
the
too,
same
Steve.
scene, but we never bump into each other because we're across the world.
Yeah, but look, the thanks to technology, we can have a nice chat with each other. So
What's the
that's
weather like now in Spain? Is it warm? Is it cold?
no, now it's winter time here.
You're winter
So
there too, like we are.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So
It's
hopefully, I mean, we're like uh, f- uh, not freezing cold, but it's in the
mm,
mornings, for example, it's really cold, and
mm-hmm.
then when the sun comes out, we're okay. But you have to wear a jacket in the outside, so
Oh, it's been brutal here. It's been
yeah,
snowing. It's been
freezing.
like
Wow.
10 degrees out. You know, that's 10 degrees Fahrenheit. Very cold.
Wow.
We'll be waiting for spring, but it was nice
Okay.
to chat with you. And
Thank you, Steve.
please, people who are watching, go check out his band, check out Danny. It's been an honor to have you on and give your time to the Rock Fantasy
Thank you
YouTube
for the
channel.
opportunity, Steve. Thank you.
Yep.
And I'll check out the store. Hopefully we can meet someday. And if I have the chance to visit New York,
Come
I'll make sure
on.
to try to go to Rock Fantasy.
Awesome. I'll see you next time on the
Okay,
Rock
so
Fantasy YouTube channel.